Hi, my name is Lyle Tietjen, Parts Manager at the Hebron location. Today I'm going to show you a few maintenance and adjustments up in the engine compartment and the grain tank of a Class 6 or 7 series combine. Okay, we're up in the grain tank on the Class 6 and 7 series combines. You have the loading auger gear case. On the side of the gear case is the dipstick. Pull that plug, check the oil level of the dipstick, fill that with 80-90 gear oil. Inside of this transition is your yield monitor impact plate. Make sure that this plate is clean of debris and there is no excessive wear to affect your yield readings. As far as adjustments go inside the grain tank, main thing we got here is these auger trough covers, a couple pins on each side. Pull those pins and adjust your height up and down to control your flow to your vertical unloading auger. Shield here on the loading auger tube. You can adjust the flow of the grain to one side of the tank by adjusting this cover here. Also, we have grain tank level sensors. We have 3 of them on this machine. These sense the level of grain tank and notify the operator inside the cab on the instrument panel. We have 3/4 and full. Just make sure that those things are working, and you'll be able to tell using it through the field. Okay, a little bit of maintenance on the rotary engine gear case. It's kind of hard to see the dipstick tube for the gear case, but it's on the front side of that sheave. There will be a hex plug. Pull that plug, check the oil level of that gear case, fill it with 80-90 gear oil to the correct oil level. Right here you have the rotary screen drive shaft belt. It has a manual tensioner on it. Like all the belt tensioners, run her down to loosen the belt up and then run it back to the correct level according to that gauge. Make sure you blow off your engine compartment, clean as much debris out of there as you can, reduce your risk of fire. Also, there's a engine variable speed sheaves. There's a grease zerk located on the sheaves. It's located down in here next to this spring. Grease zerk down inside here on the sheave. You want to make sure to give that a pump of grease every day if possible. If you start seeing grease come out the vents on this sheave, you know you've over greased it and you can probably go by for a few days. There's also a zerk down here. Make sure you give that a shot or two of grease every day also. Down inside here is your alternator and air compressor belt. You want to make sure to check the idlers and stuff on that. That's got an automatic tensioner on it, so just make sure your belt's in good shape, not frayed or anything like that. As far as maintenance goes up here in the engine, you've got your engine oil filter, engine oil dipstick, engine oil drain. When you're going to drain your oil, it runs the oil out to a hose down the side of the combine down towards the bottom of the frame. Initial change on that is 100 hours. Recommend change oil every 500 hours after that with John Deere filter and plus 1540 engine oil. Fuel filters here, also on those, replace those at 100 hours initial break-in and then replace those yearly. Filter down here is your engine gear case, main engine gear case filter. Replace that every 400 hours. The oil level for the main engine gear case is checked here on the dipstick right there. Fill that with John Deere High Guard if needed to be filled. If by chance you would have a Pro Drive transmission on a Class 6 or 7 combine, there'll be a canister type of filter that goes inside of this housing here that you'll have to replace that every 400 hours also. Hydraulic oil tank is located right here. Make sure to check that with the feeder house lowered down to the ground. Make sure it's within this sight gauge. If you need to fill, make sure you use John Deere High Guard hydraulic oil. Engine air filter inside of this housing here. Replace those every year. Try to avoid taking them out and cleaning them if you can. Just usually let the sensor go off in the cab, and then if you got to clean it, otherwise go ahead and replace it. There's an inner and an outer filter. Okay, as you're coming up the ladder, also you'll notice your silver fire extinguisher. This is a water-filled, air pressure charged fire extinguisher. Make sure it's in the fully charged mode every day as you're checking your oil levels and stuff up in the engine compartment. This tank here is your diesel exhaust fluid tank. Fill that daily. Make sure you blow off the cap. Don't allow any dirt or debris to get inside of the tank. Diesel fuel tank there. Make sure to every fill put a little bit of John Deere Fuel Protect additive in there to keep your injectors clean and running properly. Coolant level is checked inside of this oval opening inside of the shield. Your recovery tank is in here. It's got a minimum maximum level gauge on it. If you need to fill that, make sure you use John Deere Cool Guard 2 50/50 premix antifreeze. As far as adjustment here on the rotary screen, we've got the drive belt. It's basically on a spring tension. Just make sure the spring is in good shape. Your idlers are free rolling. Your rotary screen here, it's got the brush on it to keep the screen clean. Make sure that brush is adjusted properly up to the screen to avoid the accumulation of fine dust and dust particles. And then while you're up here in the engine compartment, also make sure to blow off your radiator, condenser, and coolers. Get them clean every day.